Everyone, we are live.
Oh, we're live.
We are live. Hi, everyone. Hello. Happy Tuesday. Time is a concept now. I mean, I'm if anyone can accurately tell us what time it is, then please do. But happy Tuesday, everyone, and a big happy birthday to Mr. Bruce Wayne. You know, he's turned. I think he's well over 80 now, right? I mean, Jeff, maybe you can back me up here.
I would say, yeah. Well, let's see,
1943.
I was 1939, wasn't it?
Oh,
We're
29. Wow.
39. No, 39. Right. That
Okay.
was. Man, my brain is fried.
Yeah, for an all Batman all the time
Yeah,
show,
right.
we're
I
off to a
mean,
hot start.
Detective Comics number 27 would have been, I believe. God, my brain is so bad. It's 20. It's 39 or 40. I think it's 39.
Wow, I always thought it was 40. I don't know why, but you're right. It was
40.
definitely
It's
probably definitely before then. But anyways, a big birthday to Bruce Wayne. Hi everyone. My name is Paul. Do you guys ever want to go around and introduce yourself? I think everyone here is probably well versed to everyone watching, but please, Jeff, maybe you want to go ahead and say hi.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff May. You might know me from Sideshow Live as well as Sideshow with Jeff May, and a lot of other things. How's that?
Specifically, I like that. I mean, specifically a Batman pot. You have a Batman show. That you
I do. Yes, I have a Batman podcast called Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, where me and Tom Ryman and Gamefully Unemployed watch Batman, and that show goes up every Wednesday. And so after this, I will be watching Batman.
It's the best way to celebrate the birthday.
That sure is. Yeah, that's very fitting. I mean, a lot of those are great. I loved that we have that you kind of watched a ton of the animated stuff too. I've been getting back into a lot of the Batman animated. I'm watching the Batman animated show, which I was like my childhood. That's my Batman, alongside the original Justice League show that he was into. And I've made the unpopular decision that I prefer him in Justice League than his own show.
Well, Justice League is more polished. It's a better show. Batman the Animated Series, I would say, is considered a seminal show. It's one of the more important cartoons of all time. But I mean, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, they've had years to build off of, and they have a wider cast of characters to go through and to throw Batman against a bunch of different characters. I'm excited. We haven't touched Justice League yet on Tom and Jeff Watch Batman. We're currently on the New Adventures of Batman and Robin, which was the continuation of Batman the Animated Series, but when they shifted it to Saturday mornings instead of weekday afternoons.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
pretty great.
Super cool.
That is,
Bri? Yeah. All right. Sorry. I think there's going to be moments in this where it's either like me, Jeff, Madison, or Bri. We kind of just go off on these rants because of how much we love Batman. So, Bri, would you love to please introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm Bri. You might know me from a lot of things. It's lovely to see you. I'm coming to you live from the Batcave.
You are at the Batcave. I love that backdrop.
You are definitely in the Batcave.
Here.
All right, Madison.
Hi, I'm Madison. I've done a few chat cave things that probably know me from. That's probably the best thing you probably know me from.
and not at the Sideshow studio, but that is a wonderful backdrop you've got there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not at the Sideshow studio. That's just my backdrop because I don't think you guys want to see my bedroom.
Well, guys, really what the show is to celebrate all things Batman. And again, we are coming to you guys live. If you just tuned in, we're on YouTube. We're on Facebook, the Sideshow Facebook page. We're in the Sideshow Facebook group, Let Your Geek Side Show, as well as Periscope/Twitter. So, I mean, if you're out there, please say hi. We have a lot to get to. We're going to really try to condense this down to an hour for everyone. But it'll probably go over because just, geeks. But I really wanted to start like the question that I think is going to get asked by all four of us. And we're going to ask everyone in the chats everywhere is, who is your favorite Batman? Let's go clockwise. Madison, do you want to start here or clockwise for what I'm seeing?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Yeah, let's say live action, animated. What's your favorite version of Batman?
Okay. Oh, gosh. I love Michael Keaton's Batman. That is definitely one of my favorites. But obviously I'm always going to have love for Adam West because he is Batman in my eyes. But I would have to say Michael Keaton though.
Oh, okay. Keaton.
Yeah. I really liked his representation of Bruce Wayne and Batman.
All right, we'll continue on. Go. You're up, Bri.
Okay, well, typically my answer is Batman Hush or Batman from the Dark Knight trilogy.
Oh, interesting. Very different Batman.
I was reminded of a truly fantastic Batman, and that is the Lego Batman. My answer is going to be Lego Batman.
Oh, Mr. Will Arnett, yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Now, I think a question that I've always had in the back of my mind, but I've never asked Jeff, is this question. I don't think I've ever known.
This is a hard one for me to answer
I know it is.
Because it's literally my job to be analytical of this. I would say from comics to screen, God, people, the chat is going to destroy me for what I'm about to say. But the best screen version of Bruce Wayne Batman to me, in what I think is my least favorite movies of all, is actually Ben Affleck.
Oh, interesting.
I think Ben Affleck carries the character. I mean, Ben Affleck is literally Bruce Wayne's size, and I know that's not a big deal with movie magic and stuff like that, but there's something about the Affleck Batman, and again, not necessarily the movies. My favorite movies are the Keaton movies, because it's several reasons. I don't need to get into that, but I do think Affleck is the best Batman. I just don't think he was in the best movies.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's I agree. I've never been able to give like a definitive solid answer. I mean, I think between all of us here, we've read an unbelievable amount of comics and we've dove into a lot of Batman. My favorite version has always, like, my live action version has been Ben Affleck. I love it.
Yeah.
I think as far as like yeah, it's
controversial.
very rare.
This is a controversial episode.
I have gotten a lot of shtick on, in different shows, like a couple of us here, Jeff, a lot of you I'm sure know from some of the stuff he's done, but some of us in the Chat Cave, which is the show we do just in the Facebook group, we get asked this question quite a bit, and every time I say Ben Affleck, everyone's always like, oh, I don't know. But
yeah, I recognize the scrutiny. I welcome it. I also, and maybe it's because I'm from Boston, that maybe I have a soft spot for him. But I do think, I mean, Ben Affleck was a 6'4" massive dude.
Yeah,
he was huge. He's handsome the way Bruce Wayne tends to be. He really held it together. And whatever opinions we have of the films that were thrown together, I still think that given the right opportunity, that he would have been something that I think we would have put down in the annals of history for Batman.
Yeah, like I mean, I think we'll never know, but I would always love in an alternate universe to see what Ben Affleck would have looked like in Nolan's Batverse.
I agreed. I was also really hoping we were going to get Jeffrey Dean Morgan to do the Thomas Wayne Batman. I was really excited and bummed that got scrapped, but I was so excited to see where they were going to go with that.
Yeah, he would have been introduced in like I think the Ezra Miller Flashpoint movie that would have come out, and that would have been insane. But we do have some of the folk that are not on the team. They did want to know. We have a lot of questions as far as just Batman goes. So the first one that I think is a pretty important question, and again, this is for everyone out there, so please let us know. I'm bouncing back between all the different channels we're live on, and I'll try to read as many of yours as I can. But how did you get into Batman? So what really is your first memory of being like, wow, okay, I'm a Batman fan? Whoever wants to start. Because it's tough. If you guys need to say so, and everyone out there, again, if you're just joining us, welcome. It's Bruce Wayne's birthday. This is Nerd Alert, and my question to all of you from some of the Sideshow staff that they want to know from us is, what got you into Batman? Like, what is your first memory of The Dark Knight and made you realize like I'm a fan of this guy?
So I can kind of start in that. When I was a kid, we got comics at the local pharmacy. Like, that was where you would get comics, was grocery stores and pharmacy, local comic shops. You weren't getting a ton of comic shops in the 80s until we got to the early 90s, but I would pick up whatever was available. And so that's where I found Batman, and that was my first memory. But what really cements it is probably the Tim Burton Batman film, because that just became a phenomenon. 1989, you just had merch everywhere. It was mostly toys for me first, and then comics, and then the movie just injected it into our veins for forever. There's no going back. There was no going back after that.
Yeah, I think Burton was really great at, creating that, he had just that level of just the right level of like silliness, but also it can be really deadly, that I think Batman's, Batman's rogues gallery, which, Batman, if he's, he's not just beating up, common criminals, he's got an incredible rogues gallery. His villains walk that line that I think Tim Burton painted really well. It was like silly, but incredibly deadly. And I mean, that's an incredible answer. I didn't even think about the Tim Burton movies when I was thinking of this answer. What about you, Madison?
So as I'm starting to think about it, because I'm just like, what was my first Batman experience? And randomly Smallville popped in my head, which is Superman, I know, but I think when I'm thinking about it, I think it was Batman and Robin, the George Clooney film. Yeah, it was my first Batman movie. I remember my mom putting it on because my mom is a big Superman Batman fan. So she actually kind of got me into Batman, which is kind of different because usually it's with my parents my age, it's more of the males being interested in the nerdy things, but it was my mom. And so she had us watch Batman and Robin because it was new when we first watched it. And so she watched all the other Batman movies first. And I think that was a test to see if my brother and I liked Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Which not was a good test.
Not a good representation of Batman. But even though as being a kid, I still enjoyed the concept of Batman. And so I think from there, that's when she showed us the Michael Keaton one and went back and started watching all the other Batman stuff. And I really liked Batman, and I liked the villains. That was always what caught me, was the villains. Right. And I fell in love with the rogues gallery of Batman, and I still love Batman personally. He is definitely my favorite DC superhero, but that was my first little gateway to Batman.
Yeah, I mean, I think for so many of us, I think, without the influence of another person, we probably wouldn't be doing a lot of the things we're doing now. So especially Batman.
And a special shout out to second generation nerds as well, like Madison, who really got to have somebody sort of bring them into it. I'm eternally jealous that your mom got to sit you down and say, you need to watch this.
Yeah. She definitely influenced my nerdiness because she watched Bionic Woman and Wonder Woman and all those classics. So.
Like all the classic, like the Linda Carter Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Linda Carter. Yeah.
The best.
Even the best for last. What about you, Bri? What's your earliest Batman memory?
Definitely my earliest is there was a computer game that came out in the 90s. I think it was called The Adventures of Batman and Robin. I tried to look it up just now and make sure I got the name right. But I remember my brother had it, and I used to take it and play it all of the time because I loved it. And I was under the age of 10 for sure.
Right.
And from there, just onto the animated series, and then straight into, the Dark Trilogy. I remember I read Batman Hush. And it was great. So definitely that computer game now.
So we do have we do have a couple of responses here from this one's particularly from Facebook. This is Gavin Chichester. He says the Batman animated series, Arlie Sorkin will always be the voice of HQ for me. Of Harley Quinn. I think that's another thing is a lot of people, specifically maybe around our age, my definitive memory is just that Kevin Conroy voice. I can't read a Batman comic. I can't look at something and be like, it's not Kevin Conroy, but it's good, but it's not Kevin Conroy. I think that's my earliest memory is probably going to be Saturday morning cartoons, watching Justice League and hearing Kevin Conroy and all the Bruce Timm stuff. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the Conroy voice is so iconic. One of the things that I actually have been enjoying about the DC animated films of the last several years is that they sort of shifted away from him when they're going for something totally different. And I do enjoy that as well. Like there's a lot of really great, I think New Frontier is a good example where they brought in William Baldwin, and he brought that different voice because Conroy is so definitive in one specific universe too, where immediately you hear that voice and you're like, oh, that's the Dini verse is how I refer to it. Like Paul Dini and Bruce Timm stuff. And God, it's so good. He's just such a good dude. I've interviewed him a couple of times. He's one of the nicest people I have ever met in my life.
I imagine. Yeah. I mean, that kind of brings us around is, on top of Batman, there are so many iconic like villains that I think are just as popular as Batman. Obviously, Joker. There's quite a few. I mean, does everyone have a favorite Batman villain? Let's exclude Joker. Joker's an obvious choice. I mean, do you guys have is there like someone that's tier B that maybe you all love?
Harley Quinn.
Oh,
I absolutely love Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
I have more collectibles of Harley than I do of anything else besides Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. But yeah, Harley Quinn is my fave.
Yeah, I love Harley Quinn too. Okay. I feel like the Penguin, especially the Penguin that's portrayed in the WB series Gotham. Did anyone watch that? Yeah, I love the Penguin. Probably my tier B villain. Since Harley was already taken.
Sorry. I just love her.
Yeah. I mean, in Penguin.
Harley who?
Yeah. Never heard of them.
I don't know who that is.
And it's, you can even argue, I think I phrased that wrong, but Harley Quinn and Penguin are definitely not tier B. Like they are, they are they are not on the JV in Batman's Rogues Gallery.
Yeah, the B team.
Yeah, definitely not.
I have a couple. I'm going to bring up two, and I'm bringing up two for two very specific reasons.
Okay.
Number one, I actually really like Killer Croc because he's the most pragmatic and practical.
Yeah.
Like it's like one of the things, like the example given in what's the episode Almost Got Him. It's the very famous episode of Batman where everyone's telling their stories of how they almost got him through these elaborate traps. And then Croc, who is Bruce Wayne, he's undercover, goes, I threw a rock at him. And to me, that's Bruce remembering the closest he ever came to death, which was when Killer Croc threw a giant rock at him one time. Because that does make sense that it's like Penguin's like, I set up an elaborate bird trap. And Croc's like, no, I tried to crush his head with a rock one time.
Yeah.
So I love Killer Croc for that. And then the other one that I like is the Ventriloquist.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think more than any other villain in the Bat universe, he is the biggest victim of his own problem. I try not to be, I try to use my words properly. So I don't like using the words like psychotic and stuff like that. But he is the victim of his own mental illness.
Right.
He's literally held captive by it, whereas the Riddler's just like, oh, I gotta leave a riddle, and this guy is literally tortured by the Scarface character that he has himself created.
Right.
And that Two-Face is it's kind of a Two-Face thing, but you find out Two-Face has always been kind of like that. It's just now it's out there. The Ventriloquist is a true victim of himself. And that I think the pathos for that character has a lot to be discovered, and it's unfortunate he's such a low tier character.
Right, I agree. Yeah, I think I was gonna have a two-faced answer. It's a terrible joke on accident. A two-part answer as well. The first one I have is I actually brought I showed you guys right before the show, but I'll show everyone else because we do have a few things that we brought for everyone. Is some of my personal collectibles. I've got the Sideshow premium format Killer Croc there. And then I've got the 6 scale Deathstroke. But my answer is Deathstroke. I love Deathstroke so much. I think especially because he's probably one of the more complex villains who's not even really a villain, but he teeters closer on. Well, yeah. I mean, sorry, he's not just a Batman villain, is what I meant.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
definitely a villain. But he teeters, between, I think, Batman and
the Titans.
The Titans. Yeah. I think more notably, if you're growing up, you probably know him more as a Teen Titans villain when he created he had Robin turn into, what was his name? Is it Red X?
Red X, yeah.
Red X.
Slade.
Yeah. Slade, yeah. And it's just like, I mean, just certain things that he did, that he is just as much of a problem solver and a thinker as Batman, but his sometimes his lack of moral compass gets in his way because that makes him predictable.
He's the anti-Batman, which I
is.
think is really important. I want to give a shout out to Clayface too for being a Superman villain that fights Batman for some reason. There's no way Clayface should be fighting Batman. Clayface
Absolutely
is a
not.
demon. He would make everybody question reality every time they see him. Every other Batman villain is just like, oh, here's a guy in a suit, and then like, oh, and there's a clay demon. So there's no reality now. So shout out to Clayface too. Anyway, sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting.
No, please. Dan 14th Prime on YouTube, he said no flamingo love, huh? That is a D-list Batman villain. I know like little to none about Flamingo. I know that he was in a circus group that competed with the Graysons, and he just dresses in a lot of pink. I mean, if anyone else can add on to that, I don't know much more about Flamingo. So we're gonna move right on past Flamingo there. But yes, I was gonna say too, one of the villains that's kind of come up on my radar more now is Clayface, but that's because of Alan Tudyk's portrayal of him in the Harley Quinn animated show.
So good.
It is incredible. Acting.
Yeah.
There are so many like heavy hitter, incredible actors and characters, within and outside of that show. For whatever reason, I am just obsessed with Alan Tudyk's Clayface. Kaley Cuoco doing Harley Quinn is incredible, of course, but
it's so good. Harley Quinn surprised me because I was not interested in it.
Right.
Like I kind of when it came out, I was like, it's fine. It became last year. It became one of my top 3 shows.
Right.
It edged out Mandalorian actually because it was for me it was Fleabag, Watchmen, and Harley Quinn were my top 3. Harley Quinn blew me away.
Yeah, I mean that show had no business being that good, and I think
so good.
It was. I remember it was teased, I believe, at 2018 Comic-Con that they were doing it, and then 2019 Comic-Con came around, and I think they had showed. I wasn't at 2019 Comic. I wasn't at DC's, any of their panels, but it was. They showed a couple, some of it, and I think a big part of what people were really, what turned off people from it is that they saw Kaley Cuoco, who had done this very specific character on The Big Bang Theory for a decade, and Margot Robbie. There was just so much Harley Quinn in the airwaves, I think, at that time that it was really under the radar, and I think it's become my favorite Harley Quinn property ever.
It was DC. So the DC booth was about 30% Harley Quinn animated. In that booth, like as you walked around, and they had this little pod you could walk into and watch essentially like an extended trailer of the pilot that you were allowed to see at Comic-Con 2019. And I skipped right past it, and I feel so stupid for doing that because I was just like I'm good. I wasn't that invested, and I've never felt dumber than when I started watching Harley, and I was like, oh, this is one of the best shows I've seen. It's so brilliant. Diedrich Bader reprises his role as Batman.
So good.
Jim Gordon, the portrayal of Jim Gordon by
I can't remember his name either.
Forgetting from Law and Order SVU.
Yeah.
Christopher Maloney and Gordon is just like this like shaking, vibrating, miserable man because you're trying to be a commissioner of a lawless wasteland, and
he's just so insecure and just wants Batman's attention so bad. I love it.
Yeah, it's so good. And then Lake Bell is Poison Ivy.
Oh yeah, Lake Bell has been incredible.
It's just a flawless show.
Are either one of you watching Harley Quinn? I'm not sure. I thought you were, Madison. I'm not sure if you were watching it, Bri. You should be.
No, but I've heard Jeff talk about how great it is on many an occasion. So I feel like I really need to jump on that boat.
Yeah, I mean it's such a great show. I think a question that we all want to know, because Bri brought it up, is in continuity, do all of you out there, wherever you're watching from, and then everyone in here, do you count Lego Batman as an official Batman?
So put on the spot.
Yes, definitely. I mean,
I think it depends, he's a cute Batman, but official Batman.
like should he be in a ranking system? If you're taking a
counted in the history of every great Batman ever, probably not. But are we really going to deny him his Batman,
ship? Yeah.
Well, I would say, luckily, what DC has established itself consistently is that there is a lush and luxurious multiverse that periodically will get crisised out. But, I think it's safe to say that Lego Batman exists in a very unique pocket of its own multiverse. Sort of like Spider-Ham in Into the Spider-Verse, you can have Lego Batman exist in a ridiculous pocket of that world, which I think is great. I loved that movie.
I love that answer.
That's very well said, Jeff May.
Yeah.
Jeff May, you should have a Batman I think you should, dude. I think it would be great.
I think everybody would listen to it.
I'll have to go back in time 2 years to create one.
Oh, that's a complicated sentence.
Crisis on Infinite podcast.
There's another one. You're just full of good ideas today. So obviously you have Batman, but I think another thing almost the complete opposite of his rogues gallery is the people in the Bat family, because I mean there are a lot of really, really, really great characters that have come out of the Batman. Basically without Batman they wouldn't exist. I mean, between all the different Robins, again, Commissioner Gordon, you've got all of these characters that have become really, really huge staples in pop culture. So the question to all of you and everyone in here is, who is your favorite supporting member of the Bat family or someone in the Batverse? I mean, my answer with this is I just always go Jason Todd. I love love Red Hood. I think he's kind of he's always had like that second fiddle complex where he's always trying to be better than Dick Grayson, but realistically, he said it on multiple occasions, the other Batman, the other people in the Bat family have said it, like, he'll never be Dick Grayson, he'll never be the favorite. And obviously Death in the Family, a huge storyline, where him getting ganked with a crowbar. Oh, there it is. I knew you had to have it. But yeah, my answer is Jason Todd, because I also love Red Hood. I really like that, it's kind of like what would happen if someone went rogue that is specifically trained by Batman. Like, that's a very, very scary thought. But yeah, so I mean, it's an easy Jason Todd for me. What do you think,
I mean,
Jeff?
who wants to go now? You want to go with me?
Yeah, sure.
Does Terry McGinnis count?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Because I don't know, he seems like he's his own Batman, so I don't know if I would classify it, but I love Batman Beyond, so I would lean towards Terry McGinnis. But if we want to talk about current Batman characters, it's hard. The Joker answer of this, meaning the obvious answer for me, would be Jim Gordon, just because he's the lawful good that Batman can't be. He's the one that sort of has to do things within the lines, which means his job is so much harder than Batman's.
Right.
And to have to compromise his sort of professional and moralistic integrity to allow a billionaire Olympic level athlete to dress up in a Halloween costume and beat people up across his city. There's a lot going on mentally and emotionally. And you look at something like The Killing Joke, and The Killing Joke is not a Batman story; it's a Commissioner Gordon story.
Right. And that's a good point.
Considered one of the best, I'd say, standalone tales of all time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Jim Gordon with a Barbara Gordon right behind him. Big Gordon family fan.
Yeah, someone in the on the Facebook page said Jim Gordon, Harley Quinn, the animated show edition.
Yeah. just seeing him so rattled is so good.
Can you throw that bottle back at me? There's some left in there. What about you, Bri?
I'm gonna go with Lucius Fox.
Oh, okay. Good answer. Very
Nice.
good answer. Is it because he created all the stuff behind you?
Yeah, that's my answer. I feel like there is no Batman without Fox. So
Yeah.
And also, like,
Good.
he invited me here to the Batcave today. It's a real pleasure to be streaming. So,
Oh.
I made a joke about Lucius Fox this morning on Twitter that just says, like, how funny is it that Bruce keeps going to Lucius and is like, this is cool, but can you make it look like a spooky bat? Like, Lucius Fox spends years developing all this stuff. He's like, but can you make it spooky? Like,
It's like, sure,
he's
Bruce,
just like,
whatever you need.
I have an engineering degree from Princeton.
Oh geez, yeah, that's a great answer though. I didn't
really
even
good
think
answer,
about Lucius Fox because I think Batman is many things that are almost impossible. Like he's a made up comic book character, but from knowing like over 200 different types of martial arts and having this incredible dexterity, like he doesn't actually invent all of these things. He like has an idea. And Lucius Fox does the heavy lifting on a lot of the incredible,
really great communication skills.
Yes, he does. Yeah, you got to learn to delegate.
Yeah, Batman's superpower is branding.
Yeah.
And we'll put like my logo on my chest.
Oh yeah.
As I wear my official Jeff May hat. I took a clue from Bruce there, and I made
There
it
it
my
is.
own.
Yeah. You got to switch it to W for Wombo. What about you, Madison?
I feel like this is kind of too like easy of an answer, but I love Batwoman.
That's not an easy. That's your answer.
Yeah, I love just that she was like, "Hey, I like Batman's concept pretty much." It was like, "Cool, let's be But I definitely like Batwoman. I've more of liked the Sarah Gordon Batwoman, but with the new Batwoman series, I really liked Ruby Rose's portrayal of Batwoman.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Also, like me having bright red hair, I was like, easy.
Oh yeah,
easy cosplay.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah,
it's like a built-in cosplay. Go for it.
Exactly. That's the way I thought of it too.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of questions here, but mainly the big one is why don't us four have any love for Alfred?
I was gonna ask that too.
I do love Alfred.
Like he's the golden boy in the Bat family. Like there's a lot of love out there.
Oh,
yeah, Alfred's old faithful. Like, yeah, of course.
It's like obviously we love Alfred. That goes without saying.
We don't reward the help. Okay, no.
That was kind of harsh.
But it is what it is.
You endure, sir. I love that. I love Cockney Alfred. Give me Michael Caine Alfred all day.
Oh, we also have people saying, Daryl Hargrove over on the Facebook page says, please don't forget about Oracle. Love her. Oh yeah, love Oracle. That's Barbara Gordon.
Yeah. I shouted out Babs.
You sure did. She's she gets a ton of love too. But yeah, I think Gordon does. Her dad doesn't get enough there. But this is let's see here. So a lot of these questions I should preface, they were I was not allowed to look at all of them because they were kind of wanted to be a surprise when we looked at these. Someone said, who would win in a fight? Because now we've got to add Pattinson into the mix. He's Batman.
Our Pat,
yeah.
But we haven't seen him yet, so
that's true. We've just seen the suit. I say if we're throwing in Pattinson, Lego Batman gets thrown in too.
Okay.
I think no, Jeff May doesn't like that.
Sure, why not?
They said, so who do you think would win in a fight? George Clooney, Robert Pattinson, or Kevin Conroy? I think they mean the
Pattinson.
actual actors themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Robert Pattinson would win that fight.
Like George Clooney would win that fight.
I was gonna go Conroy.
I was gonna go Conroy
I think
as well.
Conroy just has like a heavy hand. He just looks like he can fight.
Robert Pattinson is like currently going through like a year of jujitsu training and weightlifting. These other guys, George Clooney's making tequila right now. Like
He sure is.
That is true.
It's not the same. I mean, at their primes may be different. I know Kevin Conroy was a firefighter at one point in time, I think. So like maybe in their primes it would be something different, but Pattinson, like 1,000% Robert Pattinson would win that fight.
Yeah, if I would say like currently with the state that they're in, Pattinson
Yeah.
then, but if it was prime, Conroy.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. We got some people responding here. Actually, a question we've gotten quite a little bit, but I've tried to let the show go on naturally, is what do we all think of the new Robert Pattinson, the Batman coming up? I mean, everyone's pretty excited. I mean, I'm personally really, really stoked. I think there are so many different eras that they're pulling from that I love. They're like some of my favorite, Batman eras, Long Halloween, 0 Year, Batman Noel, where the suit's roughly inspired from. How does everyone think, that he's going to be received? I feel like he'll be well received.
Here's what I'm going to say. Anytime people have a problem with it, what the statement generally tends to be is that the person with a problem doesn't understand what acting is.
Right.
They'll just be like, no, we don't need a sparkly vampire. It's like, oh no, that's a character he played in a movie that he also hated.
Yeah.
That's true.
Very true.
like Robert Pattinson's a great actor. He's just was in some movies you didn't like because they were for 13-year-old girls. So in that regard, like, he's gonna be great. If you've seen him act, he's amazing.
He's fantastic.
Yeah. I was originally skeptical at first just because of the build he has. He's not what didn't scream Batman to me. But as I started to think about his acting skills, because I have seen more than just Twilight. I do believe he is a strong actor and can pull it off. Because when he was announced before they even had a for sure plot line, and so now that I've gotten to see a little bit of what they're going to be going on the line of, I do think it will turn out better than people expect.
Yeah. I agree with everyone.
Thank you, Bri. Keeping the peace.
A controversial opinion from Bri Darling.
It's just because she's being held captive in the Batcave, so she's trying to be, she's trying to be copacetic.
I did read once that when Robert Pattinson did Twilight, he was meant to go through a whole series of training to get, buff. That you can't see it because of the computer, but these are my muscles. And he just didn't do it. Like, not gonna do it.
He hated those movies so much.
It does look
really
like
did.
he's actually doing it for Batman, which I would say is a good choice.
Dude, if you look at his old YouTube, if you YouTube his old interviews during the press junkets of Twilight,
they're funny.
They're so good. I've never seen somebody hate a movie they were in more than Robert Pattinson hated Twilight.
Yeah, that's geez. I mean, I think it's best, especially now with the world being the way it is, just in general, the rule of thumb is I try to be, especially with anything in pop culture, be as optimistic as possible, because there are I'm cutting it on the short end here, 1 million people out there that will take to Twitter and Facebook and wherever to just hate it. And that is the literal opposite reason all of these things are created. They're created for fans and for everyone to enjoy, and don't be one of the people feeding into the hysteria because he doesn't look like a Batman in a comic that you read 15 years ago.
Spoiler alert. If you don't like the Batman you have, wait 3 years and you're going to get a new one.
There you go. Oh yeah. I mean, it's we'll see. But I do have Batman trivia that I want to ask you guys.
Okay.
I think you
I'm
guys
ready. I'm ready.
So everyone, please play along at home. I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to ask everyone here to reveal their answers on the count of 3. These range from relatively easy to a little bit more difficult. I try to keep these as accessible as possible, but let's see. First one's really easy. Is what are Bruce Wayne's parents named? We just need the first name. You don't need to worry
I instantly drew a blank. What the hell?
Yeah.
Ooh. I remember his mom's.
Yeah. And obviously I will not be turning anything over because I've got the answers in front of me. So I'm not going to be a jerk.
Oh, what's his dad's name?
Yeah, a lot of these are super, super easy, and I'll try to make some of them a little bit more difficult. Oh, we got some love here from the movie couple on YouTube.
Shout out to
hi
the
guys,
movie couple.
Wendy. Hi there.
Hi.
One of the many incredible hosts we have over at Sideshow. So hi guys. All right. So you have to write something.
I think I did. I think I got it. I think it came to me. I could be wrong.
I'm really just excited to see some of these answers. Bri, everyone good?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Show them.
Can you? Oh no, it's not gonna show. No, come on. It's not showing.
Oh yeah, that background's gnarly.
It's not liking this at all.
Bri has Charles and Linda. I think those are his aunts and uncles.
I can be honest.
yeah.
It says Martha and Thomas.
Yeah, that's the right answer. Thomas
Okay.
and Martha Wayne are his
Okay.
parents. It's unfortunate we only know them in usually one capacity, which is them, get murdered.
Which is the pearls falling on the ground, and then
Which is apparently the most important thing that's ever happened in comic books because we see it every single time.
Oh yeah, we have to be reminded constantly how his parents died.
But that's what's great about Flashpoint. Batman is if a lot of you aren't aware, I honestly don't feel too bad about spoiling some of this because the comic's been out for I don't know how long, Jeff, probably 9-10 years now.
2000. It was it came out right before New 52, so that would have been 2009.
Oh wow, really?
Maybe around 2011. The New 52 started in 2011, I want to say.
Yeah. Okay.
2011.
So let's say it's been out for 10 years, but in Flashpoint Batman, Flash basically runs to keep his mom alive. And in doing so, he creates this paradox where Bruce Wayne was the one killed and his parents survived.
Oh yeah.
And in this universe, Bruce Wayne's father, Thomas, becomes Batman, but he uses guns and he kills and he's crazy. And his mom becomes Joker because she goes insane. So we get some Thomas and Martha Wayne love, but unfortunately we don't see them too much these days.
Why'd you say that name?
Oh, geez, please stop.
That whole movie is the reason I remembered her name.
Oh my Lord. So this one's a little trickier. So Bruce Wayne, he has a son. His name is Damian Wayne. Who is the mother of Damian Wayne?
Ooh. I feel like I'm wrong.
Someone on the Facebook page said, "Oh, Bri."
I couldn't remember.
Linda and Gunther, maybe?
I said Charles.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. All right.
Charles Thomas, same thing.
So again, everyone playing along out there, Bruce Wayne does have a son named Damian Wayne. What is the name of the mother of Damian Wayne? All right, everyone got an answer?
Yep.
Ready? 3,
Yes, I don't think it's right.
2, 1. Okay, let's see him. Oh,
yeah, that's
nice.
not what I have. I said Batgirl too.
Not bad. Not bad answers. I mean,
I can't,
no.
can't see
So the correct answer is Talia al Ghul.
Oh, wait.
That's right. It's my daughter, detective. Of course, you know that you impregnated my daughter and made a son. That's my Ra's al Ghul impression.
Oh! I was like, who is who is that supposed to be?
That's Ra's al Ghul, detective.
Oh, geez. Yeah, we have so we do have a couple people out there that said Talia al Ghul as well. We had a lot of people answering the Martha and Thomas Wayne question like really quickly. That one seemed to get less answers.
Wait, why did you say that name?
It's on the script, Jeff. We talked about this. Please don't beat me up with a glowing green spear.
It's at the bottom of the water.
Are you saying that you have an effect with a kryptonite on you?
Oh, maybe. Who knows? Jeff might have. If anyone has kryptonite on him, it's probably Jeff.
Probably.
Let me just consult my Anatomy of a Metahuman book right here.
Oh man, I was like Jeff is in my brain. I was just gonna segue over and say I know a couple of us brought some things maybe that we have of Batman that are like really, really important to you. I really, if it's okay with everyone, I really want to see what you've got behind you, Jeff. Those look awesome.
Okay, yeah, I brought a lot of stuff because we're at my place. I didn't bring anything; it's just here in my place. So I brought some of my favorite books, which you saw that I showed over there. This book right here is the DC Anatomy of a Metahuman. This is something that I bought from Sideshow. I ordered it from Sideshow and got an email from Sideshow of me thanking me for ordering that. A couple of things for you Harley fans. I found this in one of my old long boxes. I thought I had gotten rid of it.
I love that so badly.
Yeah. I got it graded recently. It's an 8.0, which obviously isn't the best, but
that's really good.
But for that book, it's not terrible. I graded when I was younger the Superman Batman #1 because Ed McGuinness is a buddy, and I just really love that cover. I love the way it looks. But I think what you want is my Terry McGinnis stuff, which is right here. I have a Batman Beyond Cell and actually the production drawing still of that. And it is signed to Jeff, I Am Batman by Will Friedle. So one of my very good friends is a writer named Jennifer Muro. She writes animation, and her writing partner is Will Friedle. So that was a personal gift from her to me.
Oh, wow.
And I also have this Batman Beyond Cell of Mad Stan, famously voiced by Henry Rollins. If you see that, I'm a big Henry Rollins fan, and I love the Mad Stan character. And if you look underneath each of those ears, you'll see autographs from Bruce Timm and Paul Dini. So now I just got to go find Henry and harass him for an autograph, and then harass Will for that as well. I also have a sketchbook that I take with me to conventions that I call my Happy Batman sketchbook. And what it is I ask all of these artists to do sketches of Batman just being happy because he's always so sad. So I'm going to throw a couple of them. This one here is by Darwin Cook, who was a wonderful person, amazing talent. And if you've never read New Frontier,
please go do that.
You
right
need
now.
to. Here's one by Tony Harris.
That's really cool.
Absolutely fantastic.
Is he?
I have a couple of.
Is he winking in that one? Is that what that's showing? He is?
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah.
Here's one by the amazing Dave Perillo.
Oh, look at him.
That's just him saying
Batman.
He's saying pudding.
Is he doing a Harley Quinn impersonation?
He might well be, yeah. So this one is by John McCrae. John McCrae was famous for doing Hitman, and he also did a couple of issues of Preacher, which were great. Brent Peoples did this. If you read Major X, the Deadpool book that came out last year, Brent Peoples did that one. And then I have a couple, but there's one that I really love that I think you're gonna like, and this is by Lee Bermejo.
Oh, wow.
Lee Bermejo is the artist of Batman Damned, as well as he did the Batman Noel.
Yeah, he did Joker as well.
He did
Arkham Asylum. He's pretty prominent.
Yeah,
he
was actually a fan of an account, a Twitter account that I did. He was a big fan of that, so he did that for me for free. in the sketchbook because he's just a big dude. Good dude. This is Steve Lieber, who's one of my favorite artists as well. And then finally, my arch nemesis, Chris Burnham, of Batman and Robin fame, did that. So it's all just,
wow.
I have a sketchbook of Batman just having a good day because he deserves a good day.
He really does,
And then of course I have over in the corner, which I kind of have to move over here, but that is, if you see that, the Batman animated style statue that we have of him. So that's our Kevin Conroy right there.
Yes, it is.
So I have him right over there on the corner hanging out, and I love that piece so much.
Oh my Lord. I mean, I think it's going to be pretty hard for any three of us to follow any of that.
Yeah.
No, you guys
it's
have
like,
good
oh,
stuff.
I've got a shirt that I wear sometimes. No, let me take this. You guys are going to see my wall behind me, but so I can show.
Oh no.
Oh, immediately. I wasn't very cool before, but I'm immediately far less cool. Is I've got some of my, these are some of my favorite Batman pieces. I actually don't have anything that's like just Batman as far as a collectible goes, other than comics. Like I've got, I absolutely did not want to dig it out of storage, but I have a Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo signed, Batman #1 when they did New 52.
I love that.
Yeah, Jacques and Scott Snyder signed all of my copies of Batman Detective Comics for the Black Mirror, which is like my favorite Batman story of all time. And I've got a couple of those, but like I just didn't want to dig those out of storage because I would not have made the show on time. But I did bring some actual pieces, funny enough, they're Sideshow. But yeah, I've got the Deathstroke 6 scale, which has become my favorite, like my absolute favorite 6 scale. It was Doctor Strange from Infinity War, but like this has become my favorite, and I'm not biased because I have it. And then also I've got our Killer Croc premium format here, where
hey,
I mean, it's incredible. There's a little pizza rat down there. I got to do a fun unboxing just by myself of this piece, and it really kind of made me appreciate how much I love freaking Killer Croc, man. Like it's such a dope piece. One of my favorite mediums or one of my favorite things Batman has been in, that's my favorite medium, is the Arkham video games. If anyone's, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have played them, but it's just my favorite. It's the only video game that I've ever actually cared enough to 100% everything. Like
really?
I've never been like, I don't care. Like I like the story. Like I'm not a multiplayer guy. Really, but because it was Batman and because it was like the world of Batman come to life that I grew up in, I was like obsessed. And a lot of the Killer Croc stuff was some of my favorite parts of that, 100%. Yeah, so myself, it's I probably should have. Oh, I have a. This is my Arkham Asylum background. I just realized it's backwards though, but yeah, I think this is a natural move for me
so
to go from Gotham
basically to Arkham. Zatanna made that happen then, if it's written backwards.
She sure did, yeah.
You see what I did?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's nice. But I mean, so even if like Bri or Madison, you don't have, maybe it with you currently because, it's kind of hard to dig some stuff out. Do you have like a favorite thing? And again, to everyone out there, do you have something that is like Batman that is like yours, that it's like one of your favorite collectibles that is Batman, the Batman license?
I have something that's one of my top favorites with me right now. It is a Funko Pop, but it's the 80th anniversary of Batman. So
cool.
it's very like limited edition. The box is super cool because it's all like dark compared to a Funko Pop, and it's got like the Batman in silver and has the Batman anniversary logo on it on the back. I've actually never taken it out of the box, so I don't want to touch it. Yeah, I'm not going to. He has like a little batarang he's holding. I can't get it to focus right on here.
There you go.
There we go. But he's holding a batarang in it, and I happened to go to Box Lunch one day and I saw it behind the counter because that's how like exclusive it was, is that they had it behind the counter. It wasn't even going up on the shelves. And I was like, I have to buy that. I don't care how much it costs. I'm buying it. But it is one of my top favorites because the fact that it's so like limited. But otherwise, most of my favorite stuff is my Harley Quinn stuff. And that's all in storage right now because I've been cleaning my room, so it's been a little
yeah.
overcrowded.
Room or office?
Both.
Yeah. I moved 6 months ago, and if I just turned my camera slightly to the right, you'd be like, what happened? It's been half a year.
It's like,
Clean
do you live
den.
in a box fort? That's awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Bri? Do you have like a favorite Batman collectible that you have?
Yeah, both of my Batman collectibles that I have are on my desk at our office.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Did not get them, unfortunately, but I do have the Batman Calavera from Unruly Industries.
Oh, nice.
And I also
Oh
have,
yeah, you sure do.
from DC Direct a little Harley Quinn statue, and that one's my favorite. It's so cute.
Which Harley Quinn statue?
It's cool Batman shirt.
That is cool.
Oh, it has abs.
Yeah, you look ripped, Bri.
Look at Oh yeah, I mean that Batman Calavera, that's incredible. That's a great piece. I forgot that you have that on your desk. Yeah.
Yes.
What seems like forever ago since I've seen
It's
that.
been so long. I used to the little Harley Quinn one, like it sits into a base.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Most of them I think come with bases. But I used to always take it out and like hold it at work.
It's so much fun.
There's
I want it.
DC Collectibles had the Chris Uminga and the Chrissy Zullo artists edition ones that came out, and I've been like kind of hunting down those pieces as well. The Batgirl and the Batman exclusively. They're both so. Yeah. Chrissy did the Batgirl on the little scooter, and it's just such an amazing piece if you see it. And then Chris Uminga, the Batman in his style. They're both so cool looking.
The one on the scooter, is that based off like the new 52 comic?
I would think so, because I think the outfit.
She's got like the yellow boots on and like
yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
But it's the artist. I think they call it like the Artist Alley or the Artist something version. I don't
yeah.
I don't want to butcher the name, but the DC has really done a great job of sort of allowing the artist's visions to come through like the Batman black and white stuff as well.
Oh yeah.
And so I love the artist editions that they're doing. I really enjoy them.
Yeah.
You know, to get a McFarlane style Batman or the Mark Silvestri where he's sitting on the throne is
right.
Just,
yeah.
It's so good.
And a lot of these guys, by the way, if you are unsure as to what Jeff might be talking about, just go ahead. You can go to sideshow.com and type in Batman. And a lot of the stuff that's going to come up there will come up, and you can just filter it out and go to like the DC Direct stuff, and you'll see kind of what we're talking about. I really love the Seth MacFarlane where he's got like that big like
Todd McFarlane. Seth MacFarlane would be him being like, "Oh my God, I'm Batman." Oh my God!
Are you sure? Wait,
I think so.
I've been emailing the wrong person the whole time.
I don't draw like that.
Yes, the Todd McFarlane, where he's got like the really big sweeping cape, and it's like part of Batman. It's just creepy that only Todd McFarlane could do. Maybe Seth MacFarlane, who knows? But for now, Todd McFarlane.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the stuff that they put, like the Norm Brayfogle one, and all these like classic artists' interpretations are just so good. Yeah, right. I like to just go. This is gonna sound weird, but sometimes I just go on the Sideshow site and I'll just type in like Batman and just look at all this stuff. I'd be like, oh, okay, I should probably get that. All right, I guess I'll get that.
Oh, jeez. All right, though, everyone. We're coming up on our hour here. We really just wanted to kind of pop in and celebrate all things Batman. Thank you to everyone watching on Twitter/Periscope, on the Facebook group, on the Facebook page, and on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I hope you guys are all watching safe and inside, and everyone's taking care, and read some comics, read some Batman comics. There's not
definitely
now's the perfect time. Or I think you can, even if you want to see the Harley Quinn show we were talking about, you can just go to the DC Universe app, and there's a ton of stuff there. I heard there's a pretty good podcast that dropped on Sideshow this morning. There sure was. I was just gonna say, Jeff, who does our Sideshow, did an incredible podcast. I mean, I can explain it, but I should probably just ask you since you're right here.
I had a friend of mine, Bob Shaw, is a comic book store. He's a manager of a comic shop, so he's a retailer. He also runs comic book conventions, and he's an artist rep for different artists in the comics world. And so we kind of took a look at the state of comics today, like right now, and what the future of the comics industry is going to look like.
Yeah.
So
it was a great interview.
It's harrowing to discuss, and I think it was something very important. Usually it's just me having on like a writer or artist and being like, tell me what motivates you, but I'm like, what's gonna happen to comics?
Yeah.
Definitely check that out if you get a chance.
Yeah, guys, and again, you can find that really anywhere. Literally anywhere that you are currently watching this, you can find that podcast there in some way, shape, or form. We had just posted it. It's on our Instagram. It's on Acast. You can go to our YouTube channel if you're watching there. It's one of the first videos that's there right now because we just posted it. So please go check that out, especially if you're interested in the state of comics as they are now. And Mr. Shaw was a delightful person, it seems like, to interview.
He's the man. It was hard. I didn't even get to ask questions. I could have just said, hi, Bob, and then an hour of him just telling me everything. But he was really great. A very interesting interview, and I'm lucky to happen to know a person who hit all of the touchstones that I was honestly worried about.
Right.
Somebody that wears all those hats. And so I was I'm lucky, very lucky that I got to have him agree to take time out of work to do that too.
And again, thanks for the segue, Jeff. We are all very lucky to have all of you here and watching and keeping us busy here. So thank you guys, wherever you're watching. Thank you so very much. Jeff, thank you so much for hanging out. Bri, Madison, thank you guys so very much. We'll see you guys a little bit later at 5 o'clock. We have a sideshow. It's our game night. Our plugged in game night, I think we're officially calling it, where we're going to be playing different Jackbox games. Brad Gage will be there. He'll be hosting.
He's the best.
A true delight of a human being.
I love him.
Sunshine and jeans, basically, is what he is. But guy, thank you so very much, folks. And as always, don't forget to leave your Geek Sideshow, guys, and your Stay Inside show, but Geek Sideshow
and your Bat Sideshow,
and your Bat Sideshow. All of the sideshow shows, let them show. Yes. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.